I guess I'm live. I don't know. I've had problems. Sorry I'm late. It's 7:14 and I was supposed to be on here at 7, but I have a new system that I just bought and the thing is haywire. Actually, I'm blaming it on radishes. For years and years and years I've done radio and I always have radishes before I go on a show. And I said every time I don't, something goes wrong, which has only been one other time. This time, bingo, it happened. Anywho, welcome to the show. Normally I do what's pissing me off, but tonight I'm not going to do that. I've got something more important I need to talk about the county, but I've got to get a couple of things out of the way before we even get started here. Give everybody time to catch up. I want to say congratulations to Mr. John. Isn't his name John? Yes, Mr. John Peacock. Crescent City. He's a firefighter over there. He's been working there for 30 years, I believe. Maybe a little bit longer. But he just made assistant chief over there. So I can't call you John, Mr. John Peacock anymore. It's Chief Peacock, or assistant chief. I don't want to get you in trouble. But thank you for your service. I've been out and covered this guy on jobs and stuff. And when this man is working, he doesn't care about anything but saving lives, getting in and getting out, putting the thing out, wrecks. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I've seen him out cutting limbs off of roads during storms. So thank you so much, Mr. John. You are a blessing to this community. All right, guys and gals, I told you last night, I've got, as most of you know, I love watches. I have a ton of watches. And somebody's asked me, why don't I give one away? So what I'm going to do is give 2 away this coming week. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet. One, I guess, this is a man's watch. Okay? If you don't know what a man is or a woman is, get the hell out of here, because I ain't going to even go through all that crap. But this, I believe, is a Black Op watch. But it's in Activia, and it's made by Invicta. So, or they make them for Invicta. Too much glare. Somewhere in my studio, I have a glare resistant thing. How's that?
Much better.
Much better? Ooh, I'm in the dark doing radio. Okay. Now let me see if I can find the other one. Oh, that's the black one. And these are brand new. They are in the boxes. How the heck did I do that again? Here's a white one. Right here. Let me take it out of the box here. Again, it's a Activia watch. Activia. And it is... That's what it looks like. Anyhow, I'm going to give these away. I guess this would be a lady's watch. I mean, if you're a guy, you can wear it too. I mean, it's clear. And then it's got a white thing on the front. But again, brand new. These are out of my private collection. So I was planning on wearing this at one time, but I never got a chance to. So, and both of them have 3-year warranty on them, by the way. All right. Now let me get on to this. I got Mr. John taken care of, and I got the watches taken care of. Okay. Let me ask you, what if the government shut down your business? Say you own a business or the place you worked shut down. I mean, how would you feel not getting a paycheck for, let's say, 6 months? Okay, say your business, they kept it shut down for a few months, 6 months. I mean, after a while, how long before you start getting really pissed off? Okay, now imagine it's been 8 years. Well, this is what's happened to Fort Gates Ferry. In 2017, when Irma hit, wiped the landing out. The landing went into the barge. Now, I said I was going to get into some stuff about the county, and I should have just made this a show what's pissing me off today. What do you think, Daniel?
Sure.
He said, sure. Daniel's one of the guys that works around the studio. He's trying to learn some of the stuff. Anyhow, in 2017, when Hurricane Irma hit, the landing got hit. I guess I should back up and give them a history of Fort Gates first. Let me do that. Fort Gates was founded by Colonel Gates, who was a British commander. And he went and fought for George Washington. Fort Gates, there's an Indian mound right behind Fort Gates, and if you guys haven't been down and seen it in South Putnam, it is incredible. It's been there since 1250 BC, not AD, BC. So, and according to the sign there, it was a main trading hub between the west and the east. So I don't know how they knew that, but I guess they figured it out. Now, this thing has, Fort Gates was originally set up, and it was 275 years. Now, the United States has been around for 250 years, but according to the research that we've done, which we do a lot of research, it's been there for 275 years this year. It's 25 years older than the United States. Our Constitution, our presidents, before Florida was a state. So it has been around for a long time. Now, I mean, it's gone through nothing over the history of 275 years, or whenever you want to say it was established. Nothing has shut this thing down that we know of. It's been there. It was used during the Civil War. It was used during the Second and Third Seminole Indian Wars of the 1830s. And this thing is just history out the yin-yang, okay? Cars have been going across it, horse and buggies, everything. But in 2017, when Irma hit, it wiped the landing out. The landing went into our barge, unlike the county commissioners who stated, one of them had stated in a meeting that, didn't your barge tear our landing down? Our landing. Keep our landing in your mind. Their landing. Okay? It's going to come into play here in a little bit. But they said it was shut down. Nothing has ever shut it down except for a hurricane and 5 county commissioners. And the hurricane has done less damage than the county commissioners. I mean, it was in here and gone, and now for 8 years, 8 stinking years it's been down. There's been no kids learning about the history of Fort Gates because they're not teaching it in school. There's been no kids come down to the camp like you used to be, and when we used to get to educate them, and they got to step back in a piece of history that goes back in time that did not have to do with race, did not have to do with anything except for transportation from Putnam County to Marion County, which if you have to drive around is about an hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes, depending on traffic, to get to the other side. So I became involved in Fort Gates, I guess 30 years ago when I took my kids across it for the first time. I thought it was so cool. And then a man named Dale Jones came in with Richard Hackett, and they took it over 28 years ago?
He took it over in 1997.
So 1997. I'll let you guys do the math. Captain Dale has been doing this thing forever and ever and ever. He knows how to get the barge that 1 mile trip across the river and back. Well, Hurricane Irma comes along and it smashes the crap out of the barge. Barge gets destroyed. Again, the county commissioner said that the barge hit there. Captain Dale's not an idiot. He knows when a hurricane comes, he sinks that barge to the bottom. It ain't going nowhere. It's got tons of water in it, and it's tied off. Their landing was condemned, in the 2000s. Mid-2000s it was condemned. It may have been earlier than that, but as far as I know, mid-2000s it was condemned. Instead of shutting it down and redoing it, they went ahead and just reduced the weight load on it. So it went from 20 tons to 7 tons, and that's, basically 2 cars. Well, you would think that the county would get out and do something about it. Now, in 1968, when Hurricane Gladys hit, 10 days after it hit, they had that thing back up and running. Our county did. But that's when, back in our day, the people that are as old as me, guys that are in your 60s, we remember when the government actually, you could go and petition them, and they were actually afraid that they wouldn't get your vote. And they would do something eventually. These county commissioners, for 8 years, And I'm going to tell you something, guys. I don't know if it's just, I've gone in and kept petitioning him. And I'm trying to watch my words here because I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they just haven't, and I hope to God this is the thing. Maybe they haven't educated themselves. You know, this is what, third, fourth group of county commissioners, except for Commissioner Harvey, which has been there since he was put into office in 2015. He was there when Hurricane went through and destroyed Fort Gates. Yeah, when Hurricane Irma. He was there when the hurricane destroyed Fort Gates. And every stinking time that I've gone in there, he's mumbled something. He wants to see it get fixed. He wants to do it. He wants to take care of it. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. Well, about 7 years ago, now I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version kind of tonight. I'll get into more details, like with the paperwork that I have when they say they don't own the ferry. Bull. That's what I'll say. Anyhow, I go into a meeting years ago because Dick Hackett and Dale Jones had called me up and asked me. Richard Hackett said that he was getting up there in age, wanted to bring me in as a partner, wanted a help on some stuff. And I'm like, well, let me think about it. Now, my dad was an archaeologist, so I love history. So I thought about it, talked to my kids about it, and I said, you know what, let's go because this thing is busted down, so we need to save this. I mean, I was always taught that right is right and wrong is wrong. You know, what's the right thing to do? That's to get involved and help save Fort Gates Ferry. So I went to the county commissioners and asked them what they were going to do. Oh, we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. And 22 or 23, they actually put a clipping in the newspaper that said it would be open in November. Now I'm going to take you back a little bit to when I first got involved. I went in before the county and I said, so what's going on here? You know, none of them ever asked me. One of them told me, I won't mention any names, Mr. Harvey, that I need to back off what I was doing. And yes, you did. I have you on camera. Don't try to deny it. I will put it up on the page. I might even do it this week anyways, just for craps and giggles. But, like I say, I like to be a fair man. So I go in there, and I started doing my research on Fort Gates. Before I ever walked in there, I wanted to know what I was talking about. I figured our county commissioners, which the only one that was there at the time was Commissioner Harvey. There was none of the rest of them there. So, to the people that are on there now, you county commissioners, you were not there till a little over a year ago. I understand this. So Commissioner Harvey says at the time, yeah, we're going to get this thing back up and fired up and going and da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to support it. Yet, when he walked by and talked to me, he told me I need to back off what I was doing. I don't ever do that. You guys that know me know that. So, I was looking at what they were doing. Like I said, I educated myself. I pulled stuff from Tallahassee, from the county, all over the place. And I discovered that they were getting ready. They had a grant for this thing. Now, typically the way a grant works is you get a large chunk of money and then you're responsible for a portion of it, which I was told, I don't know if it's true, that's 20% that we have to pay back. Now, this was from people in Tallahassee when I called. At 20% of $4 million is $800,000. Now, with 70-something thousand residents in Putnam County, that was going to cost the residents of Putnam County around $10,000 a piece. So, hey, that's a lot of money. But the one thing I couldn't figure out is how you going to build a wooden landing with $4 million when that's about a $30,000 to $50,000 landing. It looks just like a little dock. And Monday night we're going to put up pictures of it. But it's 16 by 18, and it's a wooden landing. Cars pull up onto it, and then they drive onto the barge, and the barge carries them across the river. They drive on another wooden landing, and then bye-bye. They're gone. Now, they said it was going to take $4 million to build this wooden landing. horse crap. I found a letter from Governor Rick Scott because as I'm looking over the paperwork and stuff on this, they had sent this to a company up in Jacksonville, Taylor Engineering. And for $250,000, Putnam County got a concrete landing with hydraulic lift that was going to raise cars up and down and do away with the wheel that's been there since late 1700s, early 1800s. They wanted to do away with this ramp wheel. Now this ramp wheel, it turns and then it lowers the ramp down so the cars can drive onto the barge. Well, that's all fine and dandy. We get help from the state, other taxpayers. We get screwed. I mean, about 10, 11 grand. I know you guys think, man, I could buy a whole lot with that. I know I could. Anyhow, they come at this price tag of $4 million for one landing. Okay. Now, I found a letter from Governor Rick Scott that I presented to him in a meeting that said, you have to keep it wood. Has to remain historically correct. Now, they knew about this letter because it had been sent to the county. I got this because I requested it. Anyhow, they go and spend $275,000 after they got the letter, going to build a concrete landing, not keep the historical factor alive, just destroy it altogether. Sort of like the statues that became a big deal in Putnam County. Boy, did they mess that one up. But that's for another show. So now, I go to all these meetings. I show them. They said, well, let's try to get a grant for this over here. Maybe we'll get the $4 million. I said, why? On a landing, that's $50,000. Why? Why are you going to get $4 million? What are you going to do with the rest of it? And one of the county commissioners, excuse me, Mountain Dew. One of the county commissioners said, well, we can use the money on other things too. Now, you guys are going to love this, and I'll get into another show about this. As I'm looking through stuff, I found evidence where they had taken monies for dredging and done it down at Drayton Island, and then said it was done at Fort Gates. It's in the paperwork. I gave it to the county commissioners. They know about it. Why they never investigated? I have no idea. They just don't care. Sorry, spent money. You're not going to get it. Screw the taxpayers, I guess. Not this group. With the exception of Larry Harvey, everybody else is gone. So, now they're going to spend $4 million freaking stinking dollars on a wooden landing. And somehow, I just hit the lights off completely. It's probably my brother. They joke around. My brother passed away in November on my birthday of colon cancer. And there's always crazy crap going on in the studio. No, I don't believe in that. So, anyhow, so now, Commissioner Jeff Rawls and myself, they put him in charge, pretty much, and said, let's see what we can get it done. Now, I have emails from Commissioner Rawls and the other county commissioners showing where they were working on this. Because now, interesting fact, note we'll get into in just a second, the county says they don't own the landing over there, but we'll get in that in a minute. So now they're going to build a landing, and I asked Commissioner Rawls and the rest of the commissioners, will you let me get involved? There's no way this is going to cost $4.5 million and cost their taxpayers. You know, I can get it done for $50 grand. We don't need to pay $800,000 back. Well, a couple of them agreed. Thank you. A couple of them agreed. Actually, it was more than a couple. It was all of them agreed, I think. Might have been one that didn't. But they agreed to let me see what I could do. So I did. I went around to different dock companies and wound up. I didn't tell any of them what I was doing. Got estimates from them. And then bought it to county commissioners. And I said, see, here's what we can get it done for. There we go. We've got gremlins tonight. So anyways, we ultimately, the taxpayers of Putnam County, were saved around $800,000. We got this side done over here. Then all of a sudden the brakes slam on. Nobody wants to do nothing. Now while I'm looking through this paperwork, I find drawings that were done on the other side of the river. The reason it stopped, in my book, what I believe and what I have proof of, is that they wanted Captain Dale to bail out of this thing. And they wanted to make it a cash cow for the county. Because they designed a pavilion over there in this lady's front yard. Then they found out they didn't own her property. Which is going to get into where we're at right now. So I've gone before the county commissioners. Oh God, I don't even know how many times in the last 8 years. And the county commissioners have always told me they're going to do something. A couple years ago they said, oh, big headlines in Plaquemine Daily News said, Fort Gates Ferry to open up, and I believe it was in November?
Yes.
It was November. It's going to be open November 1st. Now mind you, I think it's in 22 or 23.
We'll pull all that together for
So,
a week.
Either way, still 3 years ago. Now the county, the new commissioners come in, the old ones are going out, and I did not like how that election went. There was some mudslinging, and there was one in particular that kind of pissed me off. And I'm going to do another show on that here real soon, because this person was mudslinging and did some horrible politics. I want to know what you're going to do to help me out and my friends in the community. I don't care what the other person necessarily did. If they didn't pull a permit to put a bathroom in or something, I don't give a crap. I want the person that's going to do the job the best and not a mudslinger. So, anyway. So last year I went in there and I talked to Miss Leota Wilkerson on the phone. I had talked to Commissioner Harvey before, and I talked to, I believe, every commissioner except for one. It's the only one I didn't talk to. And they all agreed, oh, we're going to do a workshop, we're going to do a workshop. This is not just this past January, but the January before. So, oh, we're gonna do a workshop. We're gonna do a workshop in February. We're gonna do a workshop. February came and went. No workshop. March, April, May, June, July. Boom. I go in there, was it June, July? And I say, what's going on? You know, we're here at 8 years now. We've already hit the 8-year mark. What are we doing? And Commissioner Harvey goes, I don't know. What are you doing, Travis? What are you doing about it? I'm going to play the video clip because I don't want anybody to think I don't speak the truth.
It'll be this week.
So it'll be this coming week. I'm going to pull up all these clips that I'm telling you about. I don't want you to take my word for it on anything. I want you people to do your research and do everything you got to get. Let me say hi to a few people first. Like Todd over there, Kimmy, Tammy, Rachel, Mullen. Hey, Rachel, she's up in Louisiana. Terry Page. I can't, there's too many of you guys. I'll have to catch up with you later. But they said, now at this point, I'm involved with Fort Gates now for the last few years. Now, they told me in June, oh, the lady owns the other side. It's always another excuse and another reason. I asked them, what about prospective right-of-way? Because that road's been being used since the 30s, 1939. Never been an issue. The lady that owns the property on the other side of the river, she's already said she doesn't care. How many times does she have to say that? This has never been an issue. In a meeting the other day, last week before last, they told me, or they said in the meeting after I left, well, let me get to the meeting. I show up at the meeting, and yeah, I'm not happy right at this point, because now we're over 8 years, and they were supposed to contact me in 6 months. They asked me if I would give them 6 months. I said, you sure? So I don't take it to litigation? You sure, right? Because you guys have shut me down. So the attorney told me I can't win a lawsuit. I'm going to tell you why I can't win a lawsuit against Putnam County. Not that I'm not in the right, but because the county's just going to file bankruptcy. Right today, they owe Fort Gates, Dale Jones, and myself in lost revenue $1.6 million. Now, they've kept us out of business. In our contract with the county, the Fort Gates Ferry contract, which Dale Jones was a 50% partner in that, they're saying, well, let's just get into that later. I'm just going to keep it at the ferry landing. So they said they don't own the land underneath the ferry. They don't even own the ferry. They said this last week. Go to 2 hours and 33 minutes and you'll see where I come in. And you'll see where Ms. Wilkerson asked the attorney, do we owe, because let me back up. I'm sorry, guys. This is all so cluttered up. It's a, what do you call it, foobar. Anyways, I talked to them about that. I went in, they said they needed 6 months. They needed to write this lady on the other side who, we don't know if she owns the road or she owns in the water. Nobody's sure what's going on. So that I will give them. But, hey, took 8 years to find that out. Just like it took them 13 years to, 6 years to do a contract with our firefighters. But again, that's for another stuff. Dang, we got a lot of good shows coming up. And so anyways, they tell me, well, we don't know if we own the land over there or not. And they already had appropriated the money before. And you got to remember, this isn't like this ferry has only been running for a couple of weeks or a couple of years. No, we're talking about 100 plus years. Way past, So back when George Washington and them were around. So, guys, they sit there and come up with this excuse. Then they were going to write the lady a letter back in June, I believe. I'll have to go back. I'll have the exact date when I come back on next time. But back in June, they were supposed to write her letter. Now, they said, we're going to give Mr. Suggs, you're going to take him, write the letter, and send it off, right? Terry Suggs is our Putnam County manager, I guess. So he was going to take and mail this letter off. Then I find out, when I talked to one of the county commissioners, 7 months later, it ain't even been mailed out. He's going to call and talk to him. And he did. He said it in the meeting I went to. I'm going to fast forward to just a few weeks ago. I went in there and I said, so guys, what's going on here? You told me it's 6 months. What's going on? Not one of them said a freaking word. Not a word. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? You asked me to give you 6 months. You could have said a year. You could have said 2 years. You could have said another 6 months. Do you need more time, or do you want, doesn't need to take this to litigation? You know what Mr. Wilkerson told me? Get an attorney. Basically, sue you guys. It don't affect them, maybe a little bit. I'm sure they're going to get around with the taxes and stuff of not paying out the lawsuit. But then they said in a meeting after I left, and I did say this because I heard something was said when I walked away. And you're going to say something, don't be snide and condescending to me. I don't need that crap. I'm not a rocket scientist, but I am a human being and I am a freaking man. Okay? So I turned around and I said, the problem is that honeybees don't try to convince flies that honey tastes better than shit, do they? And then she started hitting the gavel and I said, I bet you're so proud of yourself you finally learned to do something behind the desk. And I'm not going to apologize for saying that either. I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. She wrote a letter a year ago, well, actually over a year ago, a year and a couple months. I'll show everybody. Trying to get Fort Gates Ferry done. So if she knew if she thought it wasn't owned by the county, then why did she write Congressman a letter or whoever it was? Now, on this, I've got to put my glasses on. When they told me they didn't know if the county owned the landing on the other side or if they owned it, Ms. Wilkerson said in that meeting a couple of weeks ago, we don't own that landing, right? And the attorney, and I did call him today and ask him to call me because I wanted to find out, but I think he's been given some bad information. I don't think they probably forwarded him the email that they were sent from FDOT that says in there, District 2, is it in these papers?
Yes, it should be a 2 piece.
I'll pull it up right here.
Yeah, it should be one of those.
Here, see if you can find it in this stack. I want you guys to see it. Like I say, I don't want you to take my word for it. And we'll get you the link and you can pull it up. They said they don't own it, but FDOT, Florida Department of Transportation, sent them a letter, an email, saying that you own that landing. It is in your roadways. It is your bridge. Just like Barden Bridge and just like the other 4 bridges that were in the code red. And, you know, the thing that pisses me off is after I left, I walked back in and they said, oh, somebody said, we wish he hadn't left because I had more questions for Mr. Waltz. How do you say his last name?
Pellissier or Pelsier? I'm not quite
Pelsier, I believe. But I'll just call him Mr. Waltz.
Please.
So,
Forgive us.
Mr. Waltz says, I wish he would have stuck around. Somebody said, oh, he's sitting right back there. Okay. They didn't ask me any questions. I know more about Fort Gates and have some 8,000 plus pages on Fort Gates. On all the legal stuff on it over the years. About how it was turned over in 1939 to a trust company. There's no trust fund. One of the county commissioners told me we need to make it private, privatize it. It is privatized. Dale Jones and I own it. We own the barge. Oh, let me jump back to that too while she's looking for this paperwork. When they said they own, one of them said in the county commission meeting, well, we own the barge. We gave you the one from Drayton Island. No, you didn't. They had one built for Drayton Island, and then it went to Palaca, and I believe they sold it off at an auction. Because they were originally came and told Dale and Richard Hackett that they were going to give him the barge since their landing destroyed his barge. That was quote unquote. Okay, is this it?
No, I'm waiting. It's coming around. I'm grabbing it.
Okay.
I can't get to it.
Anyhow, during the meetings and stuff, you know, they came out with this stuff saying that it was, you know, about the $4 million and all this, and that when they were going over the things, they were showing a manatee sign and they were calling it best water management practice. So we need, I think it was $7,000 for that. And I'm like, why? It's a 4x8 sign. It's just painted manatees on slow. How are you going to spend that much money? And one of the county commissioners, hand to God, told me, well, Travis, you have to understand, this is after the meeting. You can go down to Harbor Freight and you can buy a wrench for $10. But we as a government, we're going to spend $100 on that wrench. I'm like, why? He said, because that's the way it is. No, why? Well, that's the way it is. No, why? It shouldn't be that way. And I really don't know what the hell the county has got us shut down for. Like I say, in 1968, took them 10 days to get, after Hurricane Gladys hit, took 10 days to fix that thing. Now here we are 8 years later and they can't build a stinking landing for the community. Why is this important to us? Why is it important to Putnam County? Is it just a tourist thing? Could be. Could be something great. Unlike the bass masters that come in here and we shell out money, and in the past we haven't been allowed to have our own vendors here. They come in, they take our money because we're the bass capital of the world. And we're the bass capital of the world. And did Fort Gates play a role in it? Yes, they did. In the 1980s, before Paul Newman, you guys that are old enough remember Paul Newman, especially his barbecue sauce. When Paul Newman came down with Nissan and filmed a commercial. By the way, was that Car and Driver that just came up?
Yes.
They came up and did an expose on Fort Gates, or added it into an article they were doing, and did video of me and stuff. And I could have really have burned our county then, but I didn't choose to do that. On how Paul Newman, when he was racing for Nissan, they weren't selling any cars here, I guess, at the time, but they allowed Paul Newman to film on the Fort Gates Ferry. And that's cool as all. Well, the ferry, it helps so many people out. We have, is her name Donna?
Yes, Donna.
Donna, she's a lady that contacted me. And she was telling me about how, asking when it was going to be open, because her mom and dad live over on the other side of the river. And she has to pay somebody to take care of them. And at the time, she was driving over there every day because her mom or her dad had heart problems. And the ambulance can't always get down that road to get back to them. So she has to drive all the way around because Fort Gates isn't up and running. And it's an hour and a half for her to get to the house. And her dad has dementia. Well, if something happens, she can't just haul butt across the river and be there in 19 minutes. Which is, by the way, how long it takes to get across the river. And she lives right there. If a fire breaks out, and we were just reading articles on it today. It was in, when, 20...
It was 2000, I think.
2000 something.
They had the fires in Ocala.
There was fires over in Ocala. Captain Dale went across the river and was bringing back people and their belongings, their cars. If 19 catches on fire, and you're back on 29 here, in an instant, that thing can be shut down, and those people have nowhere to go but to go jump in the water with the alligators. And there are a lot of alligators here. I mean, a buttload. But it serves that. It also helps with the ambulances when they've got to get over there. We only have a few ambulances in Putnam County, and we're a massive county. So an ambulance to go across the river, how would you rather, 19 minutes, or if they're down here on a bad wreck like they were in East Palatka a few years ago, they had 6 accidents within a 3-mile period, and a couple of them were fatalities. But they couldn't get to anybody across the river. They'll have to drive all the way around, which the road was shut down by the bridge. So, I mean, this is a public safety thing as well. You know, if a fire catches over there, I love you guys, but no, you don't worry about paying any money to be cremated. It's going to happen naturally. You know, and my only fear is that it hasn't happened in a while. And just like Mr. Peacock, those guys are out there fighting them. And so far, they have been able to keep everything under control. I mean, there's a few years where they've been days and days and days on fires. But if that happens over there, where are those people going to go? I'm sure, and I'm hoping enough people will come to the rescue with their ski boats and stuff and go over there and get them. And that's more than likely what would happen, so I don't want to play a lot of hype into it. But what about all their stuff they're going to lose? Their baby pictures of their children, their grandchildren, you know, important documents. You know, now, if you don't have, I know a lady who has dementia, she tore up all of her driver's license, her birth certificate, and everything. She was born up in Philly, in a little town up there, and could not get them. And a couple other people I know have come to me and asked us how we can do it. They've contacted Congress people, and very little has been done. I mean, there's hardly nothing you can do when you lose everything. I've been to these fires. I see what Captain Peacock has to go through and stuff. You know, these people come out of there, they don't have nothing left. A couple of times already, planes have crashed into the river. Captain Dale has went out there, and they pulled the planes up and got them out of the water before it contaminated the system. But why is our fishing so great here? After the Paul Newman came through here and he did the commercial with Nissan and all the hype and stuff left, the river keepers of Florida got together with a hatchery up here in the early 1980s, and they built birch baskets. And they used Fort Gates Ferry and went up and down the river, putting these birch baskets out, so that the baby fish and the fish that were letting out of the hatcheries, or letting out into the St. Johns River, would have a place to hide from bigger predators. And that is one of the main reasons we have such great bass fishing here. You know, I don't like the fact that the military is bombing the hell out of them down there. We'll probably go down there and get a few floating fish. But just Fort Gates has been a great thing. We had a lady come in from, how far over am I going? No. We had a lady come in, and this is the cool as all story. She just drove up, and she was walking around, and I went over, and I said, can I help you? And she said, yeah, and she breaks out she had a folder in her hand, and she breaks the folder out, and she goes, see this? This is my grandmother and my great-great-grandmother. And they were here with my mom. That little girl's my mom. Right there. And she goes, they used to come here. They've been coming here since the late 1800s. Here's a picture of them with a picture, of them holding a picture, of them holding another picture. Now, she goes, what I want to do is take this picture of everybody holding a picture of a picture of a picture, and I want to take a picture of it. And I said, I know right where that spot's at. So I walked her over there, and you could tell because of the way the river lines on the side. We put the picture up and it matched exactly.
You can see that on the Fort Gates Ferry.
You can see that. If you go to Fort Gates Ferry, go through their photos and look on there and you will see that picture. It's cool as all get out. But the fact that she could go back and do a piece of history like that and see where her great-great-grandmother and her grandmother and her mom and them had all come over the years. And in one place, we took the picture. I recognized a few other places on the property. We took her around, showed her, took pictures. She starts crying, gives me a big hug, and he goes, okay, I'll see you next year. I'm like, well, you want to stay? I mean, we've got some cabins here, still trying to get the insides of them redone after the hurricane flooded them out. But,
okay.
You know, she's like, no, I'm okay. I've only got a ticket for today. I just wanted to, she flew down from Ohio, went to Fort Gates from Orlando, drove back to Orlando, got on a plane, and drove back to Ohio. That was her bucket list. And she took the picture back and gave it to her mom and her grandmother, which is 100-something years old. I thought that was so cool. What is this?
The paper you asked for, the lady.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, Putnam County says they don't own this. This is a email that was sent to every one of our county commissioners. Okay? Right here. Can you see it? Is it backwards? Is that backwards?
Yeah, it's backwards. We'll post it underneath that.
Okay, I'll post it. We'll take some pictures and post it. But if you look right where it says...
underneath where it says the page number.
It says 2 right here. Right there. That number 2. That is Putnam County.
Here's the Drayton Island. The same owner of the Drayton Island as the Fort Gates.
And the same owner of Drayton Island Ferry. Right here. You'll see number 2 on this paper right there. Somewhere. Sorry guys, tomorrow night I should have my camera system set up. It'll be a lot better. But that 2 that's right there, that shows Putnam County. That means Putnam County owns it. So how are you going to sit there and say in a meeting? Now I did talk to Commissioner Walt, Mr. Walt. I'm not going to have you get mad at me because I said your name wrong. Mr. Walt's a great guy, by the way. He really has been championing for it. My problem right now is being treated like I was treated there by Commissioner Wilkerson and Commissioner Harvey.
Travis, this is the email, so they can see the email too, of where it came, what they said about the ownership. That's the letter that came with it.
This is the letter that came with it, with the emails that was sent from FDOT, and the same letter was sent over to them. I'm going to post that. You get these guys to post it for me. You don't want me doing it, it'll still be backwards. But you know, this whole thing, and then they want to sit there and say they were paying me $1,200. Well, paying me and my family $1,200 a month. Or no, they said, weren't we giving him, Ms. Wilkerson said, weren't we giving him a check for a year or years and to run Fort Gates? First of all, You can't run no business on $1,200. Okay? Now, $1,200, where's the one with a payment thing on it?
That's the insurance payment. And that's the one that says it with the circle on it, what it's for.
Okay. This is, right here is what they were sending the check on. I don't know if you guys can see that. Insurance. That is the insurance paperwork. They sent a check for $1,200, and I got with Mr. Hackett because in line 3 here of the county's contract with Fort Gates Ferry, it says that they'll maintain it. All proceeds are to go to the ferry driver. It's pursuant to the argument which you go, okay, let's see. The county pays a subsidy to the operator and maintains the docking facilities on each side of the river. Miss Leota, you said you don't own it on each side of the river. You only own on the east side. No, you own on the west side too. That's what this FDOT thing is. That's what these FDOT paperwork. Yeah, I don't want to put the wrong paperwork.
No, you don't want to put West Landing.
And you have a copy of this. You have a copy. You are this too up here. That shows that you own it. If the state says you own it, you own it. Years ago, you guys tried, not you guys commissioners here, but county commissioners, or the county, Putnam County, tried to say I own a boat that I didn't own. But the judge said, oh yeah, you own it because you think you own it. That's what they say. Now, their attorney said in the meeting that he explained to me, or that I knew about, what is that?
Number 2.
Number 3? Hang on, guys.
2. Number 2.
Oh, it says that in 1939. Now, this is Exhibit A with the state. See that Exhibit A right up there on the top with attorneys, any attorneys watching? See that Exhibit A? It said, in 1939, Putnam County was granted an easement for the property described on Exhibit B to the management area by the United States and the operations of the public ferry. Bingo! You own it. Like if somebody pulls you over in a car and they have pot in there, it doesn't matter if it's yours or not. A lot of times your butt's going to go to jail. But I'm going to touch on one thing. I'm probably going to go over just a little bit here, but that's because I didn't start for a little bit. You know, you guys said you gave me money. You blatantly, but I'm not going to say you blatantly lied. You probably didn't educate yourself enough or pull the things to see who actually signed for the checks. You have not given me or my family not jack squat. Another show I'm going to do is going to show how this county shut down a writing thing that I had with a friend of mine to teach autistic children how to ride horses. And the horses were trained. And you know what one of our county commissioners said? Still with you guys too. Why don't you find another county to do it in? There was nothing wrong with the horses. There was nothing wrong with what we were doing. And vacation money was spent every year so that could stay open. But that's for another story, and I will get into that one.
Okay, this document states that how the forestry road is concerned, and then who to contact at the very bottom.
Yeah, I don't have time to get
into
all
that. 2018
right
now.
But tomorrow at 1 o'clock over on the other side of the bank, over on the west side in Marion County, it's Forestry Road 29. There is signs that say ferry closed. If you guys live around here, you know because you've seen them for the last 8 years. Follow the signs back to the thing. I have to warn you, like I said last night, the roads down through there, I'm going to have a couple of people on and interview them next week from over on the other side. And their tires have been cut several times because of the maintenance on the roads. They dump slate or whatever it is. But I've had 6 or 7 calls about people that's tires have been popped I might call the county commissioners. They don't return calls. I said, amazing to that. I called them again today. None of them return my calls. You know, and you county commissioners, you think that I don't like you? I don't have to like you. I don't even know you, so I can't like you or not like you. I can only go off of a person's character. And when people sit there and lie to me for years and years and years and years and years, and when they screw me over for money and I have to bend over and grab my ankles because my knees are no longer good anymore, and then you have the audacity to tell some of your constituents that you're going to have me privately investigated, a private citizen who collects 50,000 toys for the kids in Putnam County every year. There ain't nobody of you that does that. Nobody. I didn't do it last year because I had major heart surgery done.
And your brother.
And my brother passed away, like I say. But if you think I'm not going to sue you, just like your attorney said, oh, you can't sue us. You don't have a leg to stand on. No, I got 2 legs to stand on, a set of cojones bigger than anybody's head on that county commissioners. But I tell you what I am going to make you do, and what the citizens of Putnam County are going to make you do. We're going to make you do your damn jobs. One of you said, oh, well, you didn't ask for this. Yes, you did. You campaigned on it. You spent money on it. You took money out of your own pocket and said, I'm going to make things better for the people of Putnam County. But what have you done to this business? And if you will do it to a place that's been around and it's been running for 200, we don't want your damn money. We've been running for 200 years. We don't need anything from you. Nothing.
Except this.
Give us the property. We'll maintain it because you guys haven't done it. When you got the thing in 1939, I have pulled the maintenance record. Well, what maintenance records? You don't have any because you didn't do jack squat to it. And the reason the ferry went down was because it wasn't because of our barge hit your landing. Your freaking landing hit our barge and knocked holes in it. Pow! Big holes.
Came loose and went to the side.
To where we had to have the whole thing completely redone. Now, granted, the barge is 100 years old. Like I said, may be a prick sometimes, but I'm fair. And the bottom of the barge needed to be redone. Did you guys chip in and help? No. What you did do, not you guys, but, oh, well, Commissioner Harvey was there, so he knows all about it. Ask him. You guys see him out. Ask him about it. They left that landing lay in the water to where it could have killed some skiers. You know what they still haven't done to keep the public in safety? The landing over there, they say they don't own, that they do own, but they don't know if they own. But they said a couple weeks ago, we don't own it. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Do your research. You may not be a liar. You're uneducated in because you haven't done your research. I do my research. But you guys haven't put a barricade across there. And exactly what I said was going to happen. A kid ran off the end of that thing one night. You're lucky he didn't die because the bridge that you don't own, you would have been sued for. Do your friggin' jobs. That's why we went and voted and elected you. And even after you play dirty politics, some of you, not all of you, and I do like Mr. Walt, by the way, and a couple of the other county commissioners. Newbold. Yeah, I've talked to that guy. He seems like he's pretty cool. I don't know. Proof is in the pudding.
Alexander.
Huh?
Alexander.
Yeah, Alexander. He seems pretty cool. Mr. Harvey, you called me out. So I don't know what your deal is and what your beef, but you know what you did do last time? That pissed me off, and I want people to go watch it too at 2 hours and 33 minutes. And in 37 minutes, something like that. But when they were talking about Fort Gates and the attorney was, you smirked. You kept sitting there smirking like, yeah, that's what you did. And you look to your right. You know? And I know you wasn't looking at Matt Reynolds. I know. I've met Matt Reynolds. I don't know him personally. But I tell you what, I talk about integrity. When that guy walks, he reeks of integrity. He reeks of honesty. You guys are a freaking mess. Man, 8 years you screwed me. Imagine if that was you sitting there and for 8 years. And all somebody's done is come in there and never once wanted to sue the county. Never once threatened to sue the county. Till past 8 years. But I'm not going to sue you. You'll just file bankruptcy. It will screw every resident. I'm not about screwing residents. The difference between me and most of you guys is I wasn't born here. I didn't have to live here. I chose to live here. Because I still believe why I think our government sucks. Our local government sucks. Look at us. We're surrounded by rich counties. Why aren't we one of them? Why? But what really sucks, yeah, and the county just purchased another boat ramp, but they don't have the money to do things. But what really sucks, when history is written, 100 years from now, guys and gals, nobody's going to know who you are. They're not going to know who I am. I doubt they'll even know who George Washington is. Say Evel Knievel to a young kid and see if they know who the hell you're talking about. You know, say Mel Torme and you really get lost. But 100 years from now, nobody's going to know what happened unless you did something to make a difference. These county commissioners could save a piece of 75-year-old history. They really could. That could be a main tourist mega for the county. You know, it could be a main selling point from the county because God knows everything else has been pretty much destroyed that we started out with. And not by these county commissioners, it's been over years. But at the end of the day, wouldn't it be better to be known as a group of people and be stuck on a plaque, just like the Bartman Trail plaque is down there? And it says how these people got, or on the other side, the story about Colonel Dixie over by Roderhaven Boys Ranch. But to have that legacy, to have, you know, we people, we're the ones that saved Fort Gates. There used to be a place, I think it was called Fort Gates. What did they do? I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's just Putnam County. You know, Tuskegee Airmen were right down the road from here in Pearson. But what did we really have? Not jack squat. Except for, and I hope I'm wrong, but at this point, I think there's 3 of them that care, and 2 that want me out of their hair, and 1 that you're a career politician, Mr. Harvey. Do everybody a favor and get the hell out. I've got stuff where money, I mean, just different things, and I'll bring it out if you really want me to sling mud. But why don't you try doing your job? You're supposed to be on the, the frickin' board up there in Jacksonville. It's supposed to, and it says that you're for economic development. Not shutting down a business for 8 years. Not taking 2 grown men's livelihood, plus their grandkids and their children's livelihood out of their mouth. How does that make you feel at night? All the county commissioners, you've been in office for over a year. Mr. Walt said he's going to be there tomorrow. I hope he is. He seems like an upstanding guy. He's already been down there and met with the residents a couple of times. But you know what? 8 freaking years, I haven't seen any county commissioners down there at Fort Gates, except for Bill Pickens. And, Paul Adamsack came down there. These are the older commissioners that approved everything. And Commissioner Rawls, I believe, was down there.
Yeah, he came a couple times.
But I might be wrong, but I never seen you down there, Mr. Harvey, even in the last year. The only one I've seen down there is Mr. Walt. Amazing. Or heard stories of him. I haven't actually seen him. So you guys educate yourselves. Jesus Christ. Or get the hell out of office.
If you lost $100.
Huh?
That thing you say, if you lost $100, you'd be mad.
Yeah, you know, like A was saying, you know, if you lost $100, you'd be pissed off. If somebody come and took $100 out of your pocket, you know, if they did it, 200, 300. The last thing I'm going to touch on here is the office, and the reason I'm saying we lost 1.6 million, that's in ferry crossings, but also there used to be a little general store there, or a little trading post type thing. They really didn't make any money off of it. I mean, it made a little bit, helped pay the light bill, but the kids used to take their boats and row across the St. Johns River, and Dale's mom, who just passed away, was it last year before last.
Year before.
She would sit out there and look at the ferry and go, I can't wait till it get open. She used to sell little candy pieces to kids that would come in there. Well, the county come in and put a road in. Oh, we're going to make things better. They come in and put an asphalt road in. At the time, Press Tompkins, which they've never done anything about it. We'll get into that in another show. God, there's some great shows coming up. She would sell these kids candies and soft drinks. And they would come there during the summer and jump off the dock and swim and stuff at Fort Gates. And she died and never got to see that happen. And she waited for years and years and years. And then she finally passed. My brother did the same thing. He'd go down there every day and watch the sunsets. If you guys and gals want to see some beautiful sunsets, go right down to Fort Gates. Drive down the end of the road on Putnam County side and look at the sunsets. Take some pictures. They're beautiful. Go on, I'll tell you what, go on Facebook to Fort Gates Ferry and pull up the pictures and look at the sunsets, because Captain Dale takes pictures of them all the time. But guys and gals, I fear this thing is going to be lost. I'm getting too damn old to fight it. And just like one of my real good friends said, he's getting tired of hearing it. I've heard that by a couple older county commissioners, and they said, why don't you do something about it? I don't want to sue the county. That's just going to be screwing everybody. I'm not about that. What I do want to happen is if these county commissioners aren't going to do their damn jobs, you guys and gals, vote them out. Run for office. If you can do a better job, do it. You got to be able to do it. Anyways, oh, Josh is on there too. Yeah, there's a guy running for Larry Harvey's spot, and I met this guy. He is actually a firefighter. Okay, his name is Josh, and it's Josh or Flo for Florence. Florence for Putnam County District 4. He's going to be out on the 28th. You guys ought to come out and meet him. On the 28th, we're going to have a meeting on this side. This weekend, we're going to be on the other side, on the West Bank. So go down Road 29 if you want to come out. I give you some information and stuff on it. And then on the 28th, we're going to be on this side over here. Yeah, so you guys really need to come out and support Fort Gates Ferry. Don't let this thing get lost. You can contact Brenda Copley also, and she's up there. Go in the chat section of this, and you'll see where she's on there. That lady lives on the other side. A great couple, her and her husband. Great people. Love those people. But they need it open too. And their tires have been getting cut from the road the way it is over there. But we'll get into that in another show as well. Matter of fact, they're going to be on, the Copleys are going to be on the show with me, I think next week sometime, or before the 10th. Now, they've got the meeting tomorrow over on the other side, or gathering or whatever. Community gathering. Somebody told me, you can't do it, you're going to get in trouble by the state or the county or whatever, the cops will come, you can't call a meeting. You know what? I'm a U.S. citizen, we have the right to petition. We have the right to gather. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to gather over there. The 28th, we're going to be over here. And on the 10th, you guys and gals, we got to get the word out.
Build a house.
Huh?
Build a house.
Build a house. We did it, years ago when Putnam County firefighters didn't get a raise. Some have been there for 19 years. And I was quoted by PDN as saying, I could get a blind, retarded monkey with a dried up ink pen to write a contract quicker than our city manager could. And it was true. And that next year, there was about, the whole parking lot was packed. You guys want things to change? You got complaints? You got things you want to see changed? Your roads and stuff? Make them change them. Make them do their job. That's what they're there for. Not to dedicate another park or, hey, we got another Dollar General. Yeah, we need another one of those, don't we? Hell, I can walk to 20 of them. All right, I love you guys. Thank you. The ones of you guys that's been supporting Fort Gates Ferry, thank you guys so much.
If you had a brick, they're at Fort Gates.
Huh?
If they had gotten a brick and they didn't see it, it's at Fort Gates.
Oh, yeah. If you got, we got a thing for bricks that we're doing at Fort Gates. It's to help keep the place open. Oh, I forgot. Oh my God, I'm getting sidetracked with so much crap going on. Stuff popping up all over screens. I've got chats going on, private chats going on. The county, they came in and built a road, nice asphalt road on this side. Okay. And who was it that did it? Halifax Paving come in and did the actual work. Phenomenal job. Well, I got with Press Tompkins, who was the county engineer at the time, and I said, hey, you're putting the road 7, 8 inches above the building. What's going to happen when it rains? Nothing will happen. I said, yeah, well, I'm not an engineer, but that place is going to flood.
Right here.
That's our office.
Here, you can show them this.
Well, right after that,
this was from...
yeah, she's going to put some pictures up on this.
Well, here, I have to show it to you. Here you go.
Let me see.
This is from back when the road first went in.
Okay, here's when the road first went in. I don't know if you guys can see that. See how much higher the road is over, let's see, over right there? There's the road. Here's my office over here. The concrete. It's like 6, 7, 8, 9 inches below the road. So every time it rains, the office floods. I got so much mold in that office, you can't even go in there anymore. State says as a business, we're supposed to have a minimum of 100 square feet of office space. We still have the fish camp there, but we have no office. They flooded it out. They caused the damage. For 5 freaking years, Commissioner Harvey, you have been involved. I have gone in there multiple times and put this up. Here's what an estimate I gave you. Another one in 6 of 25 at a county meeting. Right there. And for $14,700, and I even told the county commissioners before, don't worry about the inside. We'll hang the drywall. You know, you just get the building out there. $14,000. You know what they come back and said? Their engineer that was there before, now they're saying, oh, well, you know, we can jack up the slab and stuff, and there's a grant we can get for $250,000. $250,000. Another example of Putnam County overspending money when they could get it done for $14 or $14,000. That's all right at $15,000, I believe. But they could get it done. The head chair, Ms. Wilkerson, she doesn't need the other county commissioners' approval. From what I was told, anything under $50,000, I believe that's right. Don't quote me. But she could approve that with just, as Obama said, with a stroke of a pen. So, in the meantime, while you're sitting in your office and you guys have got your butts and nice air conditioning stuff sitting there, we got a freaking molded office, which my brother, who is mentally handicapped, was in there helping us get some of the important papers out. And even with a mask on, he wound up getting sick, and we had to take him to Flagler Hospital, and he had mold poisoning. Did we sue the county? No. Could we have? Oh, yeah, you might want to check with the attorney on that, because, yes, you guys caused it. Please fix your problems. You label me as a whiner. You know what? You want me to quit whining? Do your damn job. Simple as that. Do your freaking job. And I won't have to whine. But there ain't one of you on that board that if you lost $1.6 million in revenue, if you lost $100,000, shit, if you lost $1,000, you'd crap all over yourself. I'd have to run down to the pharmacy and grab every one of you a whole packet of Imodium AD. What does that thing come in, packets or drinkables? I don't know, pills or packets or popper or drinkers or whatever the hell Imodium AD is. I've never had to use it. Hopefully I'll get the chance before I croak. But every one of you would crap all over yourselves. You piss and moan about not having any money, and when your constituents are trying to help save money, don't go and try to spend it. Don't buy that wrench for $1,000 that you could get at Harbor Freight for $10.
Bought a boat ramp for $400,000.
A boat ramp for $400,000?
Right up the road from Fort Gates.
Jesus. Oh, and by the way, go on Google and look at what the state and the United States has to say, and Google, the World Wide Web, has to say about who the hell owns that boat ramp that's set next to the ramp. And by the way, you do own a freaking landing. FDOT. You own it. District 2. Merry Christmas. Well, guys and gals, I'm going to get out of here. I know it's late. Love you guys.
Posting the pictures.
We'll have the pictures and stuff up by tomorrow. And the main thing is, in life, guys and gals, in closing, be respectful to people. You county commissioners, some of you, a couple of you, think you're better than us, and you're not. And you're not any smarter than us. And you're not more honest than us. We're the backbone of this country. We are the people who built it. While you sit there and you don't get paid much, but you ran for it. You said you wanted it. You wanted to make things better. But you're not. We're still one of the poorest counties around. What do we have to offer anybody? We have things that you don't talk about. We have the Fort Gates Ferry. We have an Indian mound down here. We have a couple of old houses. But don't disrespect me when I walk in, when you've been lying to, when this county, not you individually people, only one of you, when I've been getting lied to for so many years about how you're going to get it open, how you put it in the plaque daily that you're going to be open in November, yet years pass and it's still not done, hasn't come to fruition. The only thing that's coming to fruition is the lies that keep coming. But be respectful. You know, and don't piss me off. I've been respectful. I get frustrated, and you know you would too. Actually, you guys would have already sued and bankrupted the county and wouldn't have given one rat's ass about if it hurt your constituents. A couple of you are like that. We're poor people, poor class of people around the country. You know, and don't keep trying to screw us, because it ain't going to work. We, the people, are sick of it. I have a book of the Constitution right here. If anybody would like a copy of one, I'll get you a copy. But you guys uphold the Constitution and do your freaking jobs. All right, we love you guys. I'm getting out of here. I got to get something to eat. I need some radishes. All right, I'll see you guys over there in the morning. And then on the 28th, we've got another show coming up Monday night. I think maybe I'll have everything straightened out by the weekend. Maybe. And we won't be in such glitches. I'll say one last thing. I've been off the air. I had a massive heart attack in 2017. May of 2017 while doing a free haunted house for the community.
I've got it. Don't worry about it.
Is it still going?
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead. You're good. Go ahead.
So we were doing a haunted house for the community, and I wound up having a mild stroke. That's why one of my eyes sags a little bit, my mouth sags a little bit. But every year, except for last year, and I had a quadruple bypass, and plus I had 2 rounds of chemo and 4 hernia operations. So I've just now gotten back to it. So we're going to start doing shows a couple nights a week, and then we'll get them fired up. And remember, we're going to put the watches up on Monday, how you can enter the contest and win those. And like I say, they're not cheap. They're not something you're going to go down here to your local store and pick up. Not for cheap anyways. Not in this county. All right, we love you guys. Have a good evening. Bye.